The universe does not forget. Every tear, every stumble, and every year I felt was lost or woven into a greater design. Today, I want to share with you how the universe, God, the cosmos, or whatever you choose to call it, can return everything you have given and how your life is about to transform irreversibly. Have you ever felt like everything was falling apart, only to realize later that this apparent destruction was the beginning of something much better? It has happened to me. Maybe it was a relationship that ended, a job I lost, or a dream that never materialized. Everything that once seemed like a punishment turned out to be, in reality, a disguised gift. But how do we realize this when we are trapped in chaos? What you perceive, what you believe, what you feel is exactly what you create. However, this is not just a superficial thought. It's about understanding that absolutely everything is part of a meticulous and synchronized mechanism. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of this valuable content. So, without further delay, make yourself a cup of tea and imagine for a moment that the universe is an infinite tapestry, an interconnected web of energy where every thread and every movement have a purpose. Reality is nothing more than a projection of our consciousness, a reflection of our inner world. In that sense, every experience, every person, and every challenge we face are not mere coincidences, but messages, lessons, and opportunities for growth. Consider the life of a seed. Before it becomes a tree, it must first break apart, disintegrate, and die in its original form. Does that sound familiar? Like that seed, I have often felt that life is tearing me apart, completely dismantling me. But what if that breakdown is necessary for something greater, stronger, and more beautiful to emerge? The brain functions like a hologram, capable of storing and processing information within an energetic field that transcends time and space. According to various studies, our perception of reality is nothing more than an interpretation of this vast energy field. In other words, the universe is not something external to us. We are an active part of it, and every thought, every emotion, and every action influence the complex cosmic network. Think of a caterpillar inside its cocoon. From the outside, it looks like its existence has come to an end. It is engulfed in darkness, in an enclosure that seems eternal. However, what is actually happening is a deep metamorphosis. It is mutating, evolving, preparing to fly. I have experienced that same process. In my most difficult moments, I have understood that I am being shaped by the universe and that every hardship and every disappointment are part of a greater process. The universe is like a river with supreme intelligence, guiding us exactly where we need to be, even if we don't understand the journey at the time. Every person who has crossed my path and every situation I have faced are part of a higher plan that transcends my immediate understanding. There are no mistakes, only lessons. There are no punishments, only opportunities to reconnect with my most authentic self. When I have felt consumed by chaos, I have learned to remember that the universe is conspiring in my favor, leading me toward my true purpose. My job is not to resist, but to trust, flow, and allow the magic of life to manifest through me. Ultimately, we do not see the world as it truly is, but as we are, and if we change our perception, we transform our reality. What if, instead of seeing obstacles as enemies, we consider them teachers? What if, instead of resisting pain, we embrace it as part of our growth? The ancient alchemists sought to turn lead into gold, but over time, I understood that their true work was not about metals, but about themselves. Every challenge, every fire, every fall was part of their internal transformation. Today, I firmly believe that we are modern alchemists. The universe is our crucible, and every difficult experience is a fire that purifies us and leads us to our most authentic essence. Jacobo Grinberg, through his research, opened my eyes to a revolutionary perspective on perception and consciousness. For him, reality was not a fixed or objective concept, but a manifestation of our mind, a projection of our inner state. According to his theory, The brain is not just an organ that processes information, but a receiver and transmitter data connected to a universal energy field he called a field of information. This field contains all possibilities, and our consciousness is a tool that allows us to access it and shape our experience of reality. Grinberg helped me understand that everything we perceive as external is, in reality, an extension of ourselves. Our perception is not passive. It is active and creative. Every thought, every emotion, and every belief influence how we interpret the world and therefore how it manifests for us. The problem is that most people live in a state of limited consciousness, where we only perceive a tiny fraction of reality. This happens because we are conditioned by our beliefs, fears, and past experiences, which act as filters that distort our perception. However, when we expand our consciousness and open ourselves to new possibilities, we begin to see beyond these filters and experience a reality that is much broader and richer. Grinberg proposed various practices to achieve this. One of them is conscious observation, which involves looking at the world without prejudices or labels, accepting it as it is. When I practice this form of observation, I start to notice details that previously went unnoticed, and I understand that reality is far more complex and fascinating than I had imagined. Another fundamental technique is meditation, which allows us to tune into a universal field of information and access a higher state of consciousness. In those moments of deep introspection, I have experienced visions, intuitions, and revelations that have helped me navigate life with greater clarity and purpose. Finally, Grinberg emphasized the importance of questioning our beliefs. Many of our limitations do not come from reality, but from our minds. By challenging what we believe is possible and opening ourselves to new perspectives, we can transform our perception and, in turn, our existence. In essence, perception and consciousness are the keys that allow us to align with the universe. When we expand our minds and observe the world with fresh eyes, we discover that everything is interconnected, that everything has a purpose, and that the universe is always working in our favor. Reality is not something that simply happens to us. It is something we create at every moment with our thoughts and emotions. The internal transformation that Grinberg spoke of is, in essence, a process of alignment with the universal energy field. When we resist change, we generate disconnection from the universe. But when we open ourselves to experience, even when it is painful, we allow energy to flow freely through us, facilitating our evolution. The universe does not make mistakes. And at this very moment, you are exactly where you need to be to become the best version of yourself. Grinberg argued that moments of crisis are actually opportunities to reconnect with our most genuine essence. In his book, The Brain and Consciousness, he explains how pain and suffering act as catalysts that push us to look inward, question our beliefs, and expand our perception of reality. The universe has its own language, and sometimes it speaks to us through signs that we often overlook. How many times have you noticed a repeating number on the clock, experienced a strong intuition, or felt that something was meant to happen? At this very moment, the information I am sharing with you is connecting you with a deep truth that your being may have been searching for. Nothing is a coincidence. Life constantly sends us messages, but only those who are attentive manage to receive them. I know that at some point, you have felt overwhelmed by the challenges you face, as if you were carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. I have been there too, and I understand how difficult it can be. That's why I want to invite you to discover a transformative tool, Audible. With a link in the description, you can access it for free for 30 days. Imagine immersing yourself in inspiring stories, acquiring knowledge that expands your mind, and enjoying audiobooks that accompany you in every step of your personal growth. Plus, by joining Audible, you're not only investing in yourself, but also supporting this channel to continue creating content that motivates and guides you on your journey. However, neuroscience has confirmed something that has always fascinated me. Our beliefs shape the way we experience reality. If we believe we are destined to fail, we will attract more obstacles. On the other hand, if we see every experience as an opportunity for growth, our minds will start seeking solutions instead of excuses. What would happen if you decided to interpret every obstacle as a stepping stone toward a better version of yourself? Through his research and theories, Grinberg left me with profound reflections on how to align with the universe. His ideas are not only supported by science, but also carry a deep spiritual meaning. Today, I want to share with you some of the essential principles I have learned about synchronizing with the universe. Pay close attention because each of these points can transform your life if you apply them with intention. But before we continue, if this message has inspired you, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. It helps us keep creating valuable content that supports you in your personal evolution. 1. Consciousness as a bridge to the universe. To align with the universe, you must first expand your consciousness. That is, step out of the automatic state in which we live most of the time. This means being present, observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, and connecting with the now. How I apply it in my life. I practice meditation and mindfulness. Grinberg believed these tools help us tune into universal information field and receive guidance from a higher plane. Additionally, I analyze my mental patterns. Am I acting out of fear or trust? Fear disconnects us from the universal flow, while trust aligns us with it. 2. Holographic synthesis. Everything is interconnected. One of Grinberg's most fascinating theories is holographic synthesis, which suggests that the universe is an interconnected whole. According to this idea, each of us is a unique piece within that hologram and, at the same time, contains the entirety of the universe within. How I apply it in my life. I recognize that I am not separate from the universe. Every action, thought, and emotion I experience affects the whole. That's why I strive to live with responsibility and love, understanding that what I impact in the whole also affects me. Additionally, I cultivate empathy and compassion because understanding that we are all part of the same web makes it easier to accept the experiences that arise in my life. 3. Pain as a teacher. Grinberg viewed pain and crises as opportunities to evolve and reconnect with the universe. For him, suffering acted as a trigger that pushed us to examine our limiting beliefs. How I apply it in my life. Instead of resisting pain, I accept it as a teacher. I ask myself, what can I learn from this situation? How is it contributing to my growth? Grinberg explained that suffering leads to an internal reorganization process in which we can release outdated patterns and open ourselves to new possibilities. 4. Intuition as a guide. Intuition is not a mystical phenomenon, but a way to access the universal information field. We all have the ability to connect with this field and receive guidance to make decisions aligned with our purpose. How I apply it in my life. I listen to my intuition. That inner voice, that gut feeling we often ignore, is one of the ways the universe speaks to us. Grinberg recommended practicing mental stillness to access intuition. That's why I dedicate a few minutes each day to being silent, free from distractions, allowing the answers to come to me. 5. Gratitude as a frequency of connection. Gratitude is a vibration that aligns us with the universal information field. By being grateful, we acknowledge the universe's abundance and open ourselves to receiving more. How I apply it in my life. I cultivate the habit of gratitude. Every night before sleeping, I reflect on 3 things I am grateful for. This not only connects me with the universe, but also transforms my perception of reality. Aligning with the universe is not a destination, but a continuous journey. It is a process of expanding consciousness, connecting with the present, and trusting that the universe is always working in our favor. Remember, the universe is not outside of you. It is within you. And when you align with this truth, everything in your life begins to flow with greater ease, purpose, and harmony.